4:00. I'll call this meeting to order. Could I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have any public comment today? Public comment, okay. JD is not here today. I guess Nick isn't either, so I think we have a couple utility permits to do. We have an Atchison Holt Electric Co-op. One on 270th Street. East of O Avenue, half mile. It's a half mile on 270 east of O Avenue.
the motion that we approve the permit for Atchison Holt Electric Co-op.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And our second one is for Mediacom. Mediacom fiber on A Avenue south of 212th Place. That one doesn't say anyway.
Make a motion, we approve MediaCom permit.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Bridge closure discussion. JD has on his list that waiting on a legal, so we haven't heard anything from Eric. Okay, so I guess we'll wait a little bit longer on that one. Put it on for next week again. Okay. And Chris isn't here. Did you talk to him at all, Kristen? Okay. Okay. So we don't have a Samuels group update. So Miranda, I guess it's up to you if you can step to the microphone. Introduce yourself.
My name is Miranda Walker. I am with the Iowa Primary Care Association. I am the District 4 leader. That's my title. So District 4 is these 14 counties in Southwest Iowa. And I am kind of the liaison between District 4 and the folks in Des Moines with the Iowa HHS and the Iowa Primary Care Association. I spend a lot of my time out in the community talking with our providers and the stakeholders, the people, so I can learn what's going well, where do we have gaps, where do we have needs, and we can use that. I'll rewind a little bit. As you all know, last July was a big change to the behavioral health system. So we're almost a year in. The idea behind it is to streamline access to care for all Iowans. I came from the Southwest Iowa region, so I know I worked for them for a long time, but we had it pretty good down here. But I also know that not every Iowan had that privilege. We went from 11 regions that each kind of decided how they ran themselves. And so, you know, if someone could live, for instance, in Page County, and they could have access to the services that they needed and the funding for that, but just a couple counties over, maybe if they moved a couple counties over, they wouldn't have any access. And that is kind of what this redesign was designed to solve, is to make sure every Iowan, no matter if you're here in Clarinda or you're in Corning, or if you're in Shenandoah or Des Moines, you have the same access across the state. It's a lofty goal, and it's not one that's going to be met quickly because there's a lot of assessment that has to take place, but we're about a year in. Today is actually my 1-year anniversary with the Iowa Primary Care Association. Fun fact. So just a little bit about Iowa PCA. They've been around in Iowa since 1988, working with the community health centers across the state. They've got a long-standing commitment to making sure that Iowans, especially in the smaller communities, have that access to affordable care for their health, no matter their income. So they've done that for a long time. They have a real strong commitment to collaboration and working with people. We aren't going to come into a community and just bulldoze everything and start over. We want to look at each area of Iowa and see what's there, see what's going well, and build that up instead of starting fresh and starting new things. So that's what I spend a lot of my time doing. I work a lot here with Wabanzi, I've had meetings over at the hospital. I just do a lot of that, just the communication, so we can really have the data-driven planning to really make a difference across the whole state. We work really closely in partnership with Iowa HHS. I personally have a contact person at the state who is my state liaison. He comes to a lot of these meetings with me. He's like closer to the Des Moines area and he wasn't able to be here this afternoon. So, sometimes I'll get a question from a stakeholder that really needs to be answered by the state. And instead of them having to go through the rigmarole of finding the right person to get that answer, I reach out to Garen, who's my contact person, and usually he can get that answer within a day or two. And the feedback I've gotten is that that's really been helpful to these community providers, just to get the answer and then move on to help Iowans. There's a few different things that we do. One of them is an actual service we provide called system navigation, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Otherwise, what I'm involved in is a network development, which is looking at what is there in the communities. Here in Page County, you have the mental health center, you have the crisis services still through Heartland Family Services. We're looking at what is available in each area. We want the whole state to have access, but we realize that every part of the state looks a little different. We can't look at a district like District 4 that has 13 out of 14 rural counties, the same as we do District 5, which has Polk County and all the surrounding metropolitan counties. They realize they have to look at that very differently. And so that's kind of what my responsibility is to do that, to do those deep dives, have those conversations, collaborate with those communities to see what's here, what do we need, and how can we make that work within that community. I think of myself as the voice of District 4 because that's really what I am. Iowa PCA, while their office is in Des Moines, the district staff is located within the district that they work. And so District 4 has, I think there's 7 of us now that work in District 4, and we're all over District 4. We're not working from the Des Moines area, which is, I think is really nice. People, I think, were really apprehensive at first that it was the Des Moines company just going to come in and not learn about the rural areas. And that's just not how they do things. So as far as the funding that we provide, we picked up most of the contracts that the regions had, just as a steady state we didn't want to break the system. We wanted people to keep getting the services they were getting while we continued to build. And as of for July 1st, we're mostly continuing the steady state. Here in Page County, you still have access to the Heartland Family Service, like the mobile crisis, like we talked about. And in the hospital, they still have access to that as well, like in the ED. Something else that we've done this year is across the state, every county has had access to telehealth behavioral health services through either Flow State or ITP. And I know here in Page County, you've had Flow State, but you've had ITP and you're switching to Flow State July 1st is what I'm told. Because we have a justice involved consultant and I checked with him before I headed down here. We also offer telehealth, behavioral health to every school district across the state. We know that telehealth isn't ideal for everyone, but we also know that in-person behavioral health services for kids is an area where there's a huge shortage. And there are some kids who can talk to a therapist via telehealth and get that help to lessen some of the load for the kids who need that in-person care. So that's also offered to every school district across the state. And those organizations are Hazel Health and Classroom Clinic. And then of course, there's a system navigation service where we have 6 navigators across the district and they're taking calls all day long, just linking Iowans to the support that they need. It is explicitly designed to bridge those gaps in care that you find in the rural areas. Someone who lives in a rural area might not know how to find a therapist, or they might not know how to even start filling out a Medicaid application, for example. So any of those needs that person has, be it those things or finding a food pantry, or sometimes they just really need help finding housing. Maybe we have had, a single mom with her kids living in her car in the middle of winter, and she just did not know where to turn. So our navigators are there to kind of help be that brief intervention to help find those resources and link people to the help that they need. Most of the time, folks get to them through the Your Life Iowa hotline, and they receive a warm transfer to one of our navigators. The providers and partners, community members can call a 515 number and just get directly to our navigators and skip the assessment with the Your Life Iowa hotline. We do also have in-person sites in every district. Every navigator has 2 days a week where they're in person and they can take walk-in traffic. So maybe someone really needs help with food stamps application or Medicaid app, any of that kind of stuff, and the navigator can help them with that. So it's a really great resource. And I have flyers that I can leave here in case you guys might be interested. And I'll also leave my business card because I'm more than happy to have a more in-depth conversation to answer any questions. Kind of what I do is just talk to people and make sure everyone is aware of what's going on. So that's kind of my spiel. Is there any questions I can answer right now?
So you said you do work with like Wabansie and Zion?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But they've lost some services, so, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not good either.
The CSRS, see, that was yeah.
Yeah, now Suzanne Watson worked with you,
I worked for Suzanne almost since 2008, like
That's
when
what
I
I
first
figured,
started
yeah.
in case management for
so
Suzanne
you
back
worked for
in two
Platte
thousand.
County.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've known Suzanne for a long time, and I work very closely with the DAB. We have
That's what I thought.
quarterly meetings with her team there, just because we're not a lot of what we do is similar, but we're looking at very different populations. What they did when this whole redesign is before disability services and mental health were just kind of all smushed together. And what they've realized is that disabilities, they're kind of their own animal, and the mental health really kind of belongs more with the substance use. And so they kind of separated those out. And our focus is on the behavioral health, which is the mental health and substance use.
Yep.
And theirs is primarily the disability. But there is a little bit of gray area. So we work a lot together. We have quarterly meetings just to kind of see how it's going. How can we support each other? How can we collaborate better? And we've had meetings where we introduce their navigators to our navigators so they can all really work together to help everyone in District 4. Because
We have an interagency meeting that we have once a month, and it's held over our public health office. And we have people, like from Wabansie and Zion, the different, areas of Zion. And then they're from all different agencies around, and I don't know whether you've ever been invited to that or not, but they talk about navigators and
yeah,
they also are, most of them are in the business to try and help people
Yeah.
find housing, help with Medicaid and different things. And so I'm not sure, maybe it's something that you could touch base with and.
yeah, I would love to be. There's a couple other counties that have invited us, so we definitely are very active in those.
It's the first, Tuesday
Okay,
of every month over at our public health building, which is an annex.
Sure. okay,
so
yeah, I'll definitely look.
If you leave your card, I can send you.
Oh,
some
perfect. I would
information.
love that. Either myself or a navigator would love to come. I know the navigators were down here. Was that last week or the week before at the mental health walk?
Oh, for NAMI?
Yeah, for NAMI, and we
Yeah.
worked a lot with NAMI too. So
Yeah, okay.
awesome. Yeah, I will
And
definitely.
NAMI also comes to that meeting.
Oh,
too. I mean,
perfect.
representatives from that. So I mean, there's a lot of the different agencies around, and it's amazing how many there are. We have Shenandoah Hospital, Thurinda Hospital that come to the meetings. And so there's just a lot of people that are out there trying to reach out to people and,
Good.
but
Yeah.
it's hard to find housing and things.
Housing is a huge issue, but
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite things about this new system and working for Iowa PCA is just the emphasis on working together. Like, we don't need to
Right.
compete with each other. There's plenty of need to go around. Let's figure out how we can do this together, because together, everything is gonna be better.
And that's what these people are trying to do. So, and they do work together. So that's good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, well, thank you for coming.
You bet.
Okay, I see Chris came in, so you wanna talk, Chris?
Chris Falk, Site Superintendent, same as a group for your Page County Jail. Haven't been here in a while, so
No.
a lot's happened out there. I'll start with outside. We have the roof on, all the scuppers are in, all the trim is on. I think we have a couple of 3 minor things to do up there, and we're done on top. So we're sealed in,
Saw
good to
the
go.
edges. Saw the edges around it.
Yep,
Yeah.
the brown edges are on.
Mhm.
The vestibule work has started this week as far as putting metal on out there, and then they'll put the roof on it. And then we can finish the inside of the vestibule. All the final site grading up to where the concrete has stopped down the bottom of the driveway, it's done. With the rain that we've gotten tons of grass growing now. They actually mowed it already, so kind of hit that perfect. Inside the building, dispatch or non-detention side, we have flooring going down. There's a lot of flooring already installed, but Now they're polishing concrete right now. They're applying epoxy flooring in the kitchen, laundry areas, back in the showers and detention. A lot of the wiring's done. Fire alarm is installed. Sprinkler system is installed up front. As a matter of fact, they're testing and programming the fire alarm tomorrow. And the fire marshal will be in on Monday, the 22nd, barring any complications from that. And we will get partial occupancy of the building for the dispatch to move. So another big milestone. IT, Tony's had some ICN up there working, getting that networking in for the dispatch. And then I know he's got telecommunications as well as internet going in too. So that's all happening. All the security stuff's happening in the IT room too for dispatch. So when they do move in, we have a secured building for them to work out of. Cameras are being installed everywhere, ceilings in. We're waiting on some solid surface material to put in the sinks and in the bathrooms and stuff. That should be in this week or next. And then finish that up. On the detention side, we do have cooling over there too. They started both those air handlers up there. We do have cooling throughout the building. And they're trying to start the big one back in the jail. They're working through a couple of issues on that. We should have that going by the end of the week. Back in booking, all the frames are installed. Everything's painted. All the cabinets are installed. The ceilings grid is in. They've got everything deviced out. They're putting in lighting back there, and then they'll finish putting in the rest of the ceiling. We have all the detention frames in back in the jail. The doors are hung, hardware's on. They're just now painting back there, the frames. So get the frames painted, we'll start finishing floors back there and doing some case work, and then the furniture can be set and fixtures for inside the cells can go. So we are racing to the finish line here.
Nice.
It's getting close. They get that air conditioner running back there, we'll pull some more humidity out of the building, which will help all the way around. We'll look at seeing how we're gonna finish some floors back there and get that finished up, and then we will be ready for a punch list that will happen on July 13th. We'll start doing punch lists at that time. Architects and engineers will be in to walk 2 days, I believe, and then we'll start having the guys come back in and finish what we find is wrong with the building, you know, the minor cosmetic stuff, if engineering finds some testing and balancing that didn't go well to correct some dampers or whatever. That's standard operating for any building. The 24th of June, Stickler is going to finish the driveway from where they stop down at the bottom of the hill out to the highway. And so that road will be closed from the 24th, 25th, 26th, and I think 27th, 28th, so through the weekend.
Okay.
And then we can drive on it on the 29th or 28th, 29th. They will finish that off, then we'll have all the concrete, we'll be done tracking mud everywhere. Outside the site will start to look a little different too. We've done a lot of cleanup around there, and a lot of stuff starting to be hauled out. Trailers are leaving. Connexes are starting to go. I know we took a full trailer out of our stuff just yesterday, so starting to get the place looking like it should. So it's changed a lot in the last month. So in the next couple of weeks, we'll be putting a lot of the finishing touches on. So
I was just telling the guys I signed the thing on the Muffin Monster. To put that in,
yes,
so that's in.
yeah, for whatever reason, there's the delay in manufacturing. And so that'll go in. Justin went on ahead with Crane Construction, did all the final grade. He's the one installing the Muffin Monster. So sometime into July, I believe it's supposed to be here, and then he'll put that in and finish grade around it. But that can't be helped. But We have a lot of commissioning, inspections. The jail inspector will come back, the fire marshal will come back, once we do everything back in the jail and give us full occupancy. And then once that happens, and all the punch list items are complete, then it's down to Tony and the sheriff to figure out when to remove it. And there'll be a lot of training too, as well as on all the systems and stuff to make sure that the jailers have a good handle on how that all works back there. So a little different than what they got now. So,
Carpet in there looks nice in the offices there.
yeah, it does. And the flooring that they put down there is vinyl tile flooring they put down in the break rooms and stuff and in the hallways. That's really nice.
Right.
And
So on the Stickler doing the polish, or he's not doing the polishing.
his
the Kale,
subcontract,
like Plowman's doing it, right?
no, it's
No.
another subcontractor
Oh,
they've
okay.
hired to
Okay,
do the polished concrete, and they started today.
but he had to go in and do some grinding of it to.
So when they polish that concrete, they actually take the top layer off and they try to get the floor leveled up.
Okay,
And so there's grinding involved, which it's all, it's done by wet
Oh,
sanding,
okay.
so there's no
Gotcha.
dust.
Yeah.
I was a little concerned about that because we got all this nice new paint and all the nice finishes but they don't create any dust when they do that. So it's just kind of like a slurry.
yeah,
And then they'll start polishing some of those up tomorrow. They ground quite a few of them today. And then they're gonna work their way back into the jail portion, so.
so they'll get all that done and then they'll be done with the floors.
Yep, that's
So-
pretty much, I mean, they were laying they gotta do some carpet yet in the dispatch area. That access flooring's gotta get carpeted yet, but we had some wiring we need to finish up. And then they gotta grind and level that floor down a little bit because it was off. So once they get that done, then I'm hoping Thursday, Friday, we're setting carpet. And then that big area will be done. And then a lot of the flooring is just down to whatever we do, polish or epoxy. But all the rest is done.
So you're looking, okay, July 13th, you said punch list.
Punch list will be July 13th,
Okay.
and then we gotta give them, I think, 30 days to complete that, their punch list.
Okay.
And then,
So it's gonna be a little bit later than we thought.
yeah, but I don't anticipate a huge punch list, but
Okay.
it depends on what the architect sees and what the
Right.
engineers find. Never gonna outguess them. I've been doing some pre-punch list items with the
Mhm.
contractors to try to get some of that stuff that I know they're gonna find and they're gonna see, trying to get that taken care of even before they walk the site. But that was the earliest available for the architect to get there, was the 13th, so. And but I'm pretty sure everybody on site will get right there and get it done because it would be done too.
They wanna get out,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, and once Stickler gets done with the concrete drive out to the highway, Crane will come back in, finish grade all of that area and put grass down for it, so that that's done too, because he's got a little bit more final grade to do, but
That'll look nice once they get that all
yeah, it
leveled out,
does. Yeah,
changed now.
yeah, and it's made a big difference around there, just the looks of it, so.
Yeah.
And once we get final punch list and commissioning done, then we're pretty much down to training and then turning it over. I mean, make sure everybody's comfortable with what they got and then giving you guys the keys. So
Downhill.
the end's in sight, there's
Yeah.
light at the end of the tunnel.
It's amazing, it's amazing how much has taken place just in the last month or two. So,
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah,
So, and a lot will be happening in the next 2 weeks. So the big one is the fire marshal and getting partial occupancy for the dispatch.
yeah,
So,
get them moved in there and
yep. And I think they have the dates for that
Yeah.
move as well.
it's the first part of July to move them in.
I think it's 7th, 8th and 9th
I think
is
that's
is
it,
the
yeah.
drop dead date. So
Yeah.
we've got to meet that and we're gonna meet that easy. So,
Yep. Well, sounds good.
okay. Any other questions?
All right. Anything else?
Nope.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Probably see you in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Sounds good. Good. Okay, we have find it here. We have a request for the use of courthouse grounds for the Spirit on the Square on September the 12th. For a free community music concert from 7 to 9. That's a Saturday. The council, city council has given them permission to block Main Street from 15th to 16th. Highway 71 has offered a truck bed for the band to perform on, which will be in the street. So we just need to approve them using the courthouse grounds.
Make a motion to approve that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We have on here discuss action Page County solar ordinance, but I'm not sure that there's anything that we want to discuss today, so. You all wanna talk about it, or you wanna do a little bit more? There is a meeting scheduled by by Mid-American on the 30th of June at the Country Club at 4 p.m. As soon as I got the notice of that, I sent a thing back to John Huff and I said, this is the same meeting time as our meeting. And so he said that everything had been sent out, to everyone, and so he wondered if we could change our meeting time, that day. And I think Todd had sent an email that said he would go for 3 o'clock meeting. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay,
if that was all right with
if
you.
if that's okay with everybody. Is that okay with you?
I'll be about 5 or 10 minutes late.
You wanna do like 3:15?
That'd be better.
Okay.
If we do that, we're gonna have to put very little on the agenda because we'll have to have time to get out to the country club by 4. So, yeah, it'll be a very short meeting if we have it. So I guess we just need to put everybody on notice that we will be meeting at 3:10 that day?
Sure.
Okay. On the 30th, June. I'll make sure that we post that online and then we'll have our meeting notice also. So is there anything that you want to discuss about the solar ordinance today?
No, so, okay, this ordinance,
That was what Mid-America.
so that was what,
Yeah.
back in August, okay.
Yeah.
And that was,
That was their ideas
Their
of
idea,
things that could be changed in the ordinance that would help out the project if we so chose to do that.
yeah, so so one thing, the only concern I have with it is, and I've talked to John Huff about this as well, is just the fact that I know this is gonna go to the Iowa Utilities Board, and they're probably going to do whatever they want, bypass the ordinance. My concern is, I would rather not have them do that, just because the fact that to me, it makes county ordinances really not important. If they're gonna end up bypassing what the counties and their constituents have voted on, or at least get their representatives have voted on, for the citizens of the county. So, and I've shared that with him too. And I think one of his thoughts was that they were gonna do this to try to keep our hands clean of changing ordinances and having to go to court or do things like that. So, but if there's ways that we could look at our ordinance, and so they have a lot of notes in here, so it'll be interesting to, each of us can kind of go through this and look, but if there's ways that we can still uphold some of our ordinances and some of the things that are important to the residents of the county, then I think there's other opportunities to work with them on other things that maybe we can be more flexible on. But I did receive a couple of calls from some individuals, and they don't live near the solar place, but they are concerned with, and I think a lot of people are concerned with the fact that farmland being converted into solar, wind, we've got, and like I said last week, it's death by 1,000 cuts, because it might be 1% of the farmland for now, and then we do another project, that's another 1%, and another 1%, another 1%. Pretty soon, you got 50% of your agricultural land tied up in industrial stuff. And so I know there are people that are concerned about that. And so anyway, I just don't want us to throw away an ordinance that we worked pretty hard on looking at. And I know there are some things that were put in there that were put in there because of real concerns from citizens at the time. So, I don't think those concerns have gone away, but we just need to, our ordinance was not something that we just made up I know I did a lot of research because I looked at a lot of different counties and what they had and tried to take pieces of that. In fact, I did take pieces of that and kind of create our own ordinance on that. So, I would just ask that everybody be open-minded to some of the things and not just go with what Mid-American is asking us to do, I guess. So, we can work on some stuff, we can compromise if we need to on some other things, but I just don't want us to throw in the towel and lose, our own governance.
At least we can look at it.
Right, yeah.
See what their suggestions
right.
are.
So look through it, but just keep those things in mind that when we did create the solar ordinance, there was reasons behind it, so.
But I think we also need to remember that it's not up to us to say what people can do with their land.
No, I get that.
And if it is land that's taken out of production, that's up to the individual landowner.
Sure,
So I think that's, when you're thinking about eminent domain, this is kind of like that. If you're saying they can't do it because we don't like it, we don't like solar, we need to be very careful.
it's also scary though, because it's like eminent domain. If Mid-American would bypass our ordinances and say, well, we're gonna do this project anyway, no matter what your county government says.
Yep.
And I don't like that either.
I know, I don't like the bypass either, but, maybe we need to look at, we definitely need to look at the ordinance and see if there's anything that we can change that will be better for the citizens.
Yep, so I guess we'll touch base with that after we get a chance to review
Okay.
what they had asked about, so.
Any comments, Brian?
Not at this time. There's a lot of comments, but
Okay.
Is the public able to see those suggestions from Mid-America?
They were just sent to us, Jane, so I don't know that they're public information from them.
I
don't
think
know.
at some point we'll probably
We'll have discussion.
we'll have discussions
Yeah.
off of what we have on this document. And I think at that point, it'd be shared with the public of what they have asked and what they suggested. It looks like this was done last August.
Yeah.
So it's been
a while.
It's been a while. And really what they did is just kind of marked up our ordinance of where they thought the issues were and things that they would like to see. So, I think once we go through this and we put it back on the agenda to have a meeting to maybe talk through that, and maybe Mid-American will be here as well. I don't know, but, yeah, then I would say then it'd become public at that point.
Then what's the meeting that they're having out, about?
Mid-American is having an informational meeting. And they put it in the paper It's a public informational meeting for Nottaway Solar scheduled for June 30th. At 4 PM at the Clarinda Country Club. So anybody is welcome to go. But I'm sure it's been sent to the landowners for that, but then also in the paper. And to talk about, there's also a link to the Iowa Utilities Commission website where they can access the certificate application if you want that. It's IUC electronic filing system. So. Anyway, okay,
The landowners are,
you can look on Beacon and see who they are.
but we know who's signed up.
No. We don't know.
That part of the ordinance to.
Well, I think it's just, so there's a group of,
There's like 23 landowners, I believe,
Who have been asked.
that are
who are in the area.
in the area, but there's 3 landowners that are basically putting up the land for the project, and they are all in on it, you know, so those 3 have,
You know who that is.
yeah, basically. It's on the map. There's a map of the project area. So,
Okay, let's move on to board communication. Anybody have anything?
I had a public health meeting last time.
Oh, finally one?
Yeah, that was kind of and they are reviewing right now, they're going, so. They're going to districts, so I can't remember how many.
The state is,
Yeah, the state is going to districts, so it sounds like there's going to be. I can't remember if it was 11 or 14 counties in our district,
probably 14.
14 maybe, sounds like.
14.
That's something we have.
That's what I
Yeah, so-
figured, yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, so, yep, they're going, and right now, I think, Guthrie County. And I think Pot County have both put in to try to be the head district hubs of that. Now,
Mhm.
from what Sam understood was that it's not going to, right now, disrupt any of the local public health. Those would all still be, it's basically taking from like us sending money to the state, then we'd send it to the county, Guthrie or Pot or whoever the district is, and then they would take care of that, but she's learning more about it as we go, but that's kind of the gist of it. Last night, we kind of talked through some of that. We'll have another meeting in August, I believe. There's not gonna be one in July because of county fairs and stuff. Everybody's really busy, but so probably no more then.
Okay. We knew it was coming, so.
Yeah.
And I,
Oh, we are, one
Don't
other
think we
thing,
do
I
it.
guess that did come out last night, we decided to give Mills County, tobacco to Pot County. So they will cover that.
no, wait a minute, Mills County,
So Mills County, we support Mills County when our tobacco.
oh, okay, gotcha.
And so Candace does all that.
Right.
And so now Pot County wanted it. And so we decided to go ahead and let them have that, which
Okay.
would give Candace a little more free time to do some other things.
Okay,
So a little closer to home. And I think
Okay.
that's about $10,000 that we'd
Okay.
lose alone for that, so. But it sounded like we'd be able to make
makes
that up
sense,
and
yeah.
other things, so.
Okay.
um,
you wouldn't have to travel as far,
Right.
so the mileage wouldn't be as great to pay her, so, yeah, okay.
Yep.
I didn't have anything, I don't think. I can remember I do have a Southwest Iowa juvenile meeting tomorrow.
You have I think there'll be a Zion meeting coming up sometime. I got an email.
You said they'd have more.
Yeah, so I'm guessing, Charlotte sent something out today saying just be ready,
Ready.
keep an eye on. She'll have it posted whenever,
Okay,
so.
okay, our next, oh. Our next item is discuss meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as stated.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We don't have bills on here.
Approved claims.
We don't have bills.
Well, we can
approve
add
claim.
that, right?
Yeah,
Because you can always add, right? You just can't take away from the agenda
yeah,
or not. How's that work?
not exactly.
Oh. Well,
We might just go
we
ahead
can put it
anyway.
on next
Yeah.
week's. Yeah, we'll just do
Yeah.
it next week.
Okay,
Put it on there.
okay, if there's nothing else to come before the board, we want to do number 12.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 4:40.